Hey guys, while you're watching this, we have all just gotten back from Comic-Con, and while we are slowly recovering, we also made some new friends in San Diego. A couple of amazing model makers from Aardman Animation Studios in the UK. Aardman are the makers of Wallace and Gromit, The Were-Rabbit, Pirates, Shaun the Sheep. Their stuff has been part of my makeup since they were first making animation. They're incredible, and they're here, and apparently they've brought some props and some stuff that they've built from Aardman here to the cave for us to take a look at. It's going to be an education in the history of animation. It's so awesome! Oh, okay, wow. I've been in the shop when you guys were setting this up, but I was very specifically not looking. Oh my God, it's so beautiful to see this stuff in here. Oh, I can barely stand this. Hello, Jimmy, Gary. Thank you guys for bringing your amazing stuff here.
No problem.
Holy cow.
Okay, so among the pieces you brought here, what is the oldest one? What is the what's one of the?
Well, the stuff from the Pirates films, the oldest one here.
Okay.
So this is we only have one of this chap here. So this is the Pirates captain when he's all blinged up, and he's sold poly.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's silicone?
This is silicone fur. So this is developed by a gentleman in-house.
Silicone fur?
Yeah.
How is such a thing possible?
Yeah. It's a process of molding real fur and then casting it back in, but it's quite complicated. It's very time consuming. And this is applied everywhere.
Oh, so he makes a long strip of it?
Yeah, you can make a long strip. I think one of our ladies in model making took the technique and dressed in this pirate captain. But he's all foam latex in here. He's got silicone hands, and all the jewels are made.
All the jewels, oh my God, they're beautiful, and everything moves perfectly.
It's rapid prototyping that we used on Pirates.
Oh, you've done 3D printing?
Yes, this is 3D printing. So I'm going to take his head off, which makes life a little bit easier. Oh. And then you can see there, if we take that off there.
Whoa!
And then pull that out, and then you would take another one from the set and pop that in there.
Wow, for every single frame.
Yeah, I think we shoot in twos. Sometimes we shoot in singles.
That's incredible. That's such beautiful. So, wow. I mean, between the twisted wire armatures and the 3D printing, you're encompassing the entire history of animation.
Yeah.
3D animation.
And Aardman are renowned for their claymation. So traditionally, they really love the thumminess. Nick really likes the thumminess and sort of the texture and everything. So at the moment, on our latest project, we've gone back to doing plasticine onto those hard pieces.
So he was, every one of his mouths was a 3D printed replacement part?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
yes.
I see. How many, for his character throughout the course of a film, there must have been hundreds of pieces.
Yes, hundreds and hundreds, and it's always changing because there's a CG department that were involved creating those mouth shapes.
I see, right. So they're pre-visualizing the animation and then giving you, oh, that's great.
So they're in accordance with the traditional stop-motion animation team, and once that's all approved by the director, they'll go onto set and they'll be given a library of rapid prototyping mouths, which they'll use for that sequence.
Fascinating.
And something I also wanted to show you, this is developed, when we're shooting, there are like special shots within the film, which are quite complicated to achieve traditionally. So this was done by a chap called Andrew Bloxham, and this is from a sequence where the pirate captain leads into his beard to try and Polly is hiding inside his beard. But that's quite difficult to achieve. So this will only be used for maybe like 7 or 8 frames, and all that is just an Allen wrench on the back there, and we'll just turn that like that.
Wow!
And that beard opens up. So that'll be for a few frames.
And then it goes...
and then we'll have a shot of an enlarged beard and 2 googly eyes sticking out. So within that, just that quick shot, there's 3 different... And that's just made... we've got machined, but it's also made with tops of guitar pieces.
Oh my God, little guitar tuner gears.
We can take his head off. Like that.
Yeah.
And then... take his mouth off. So this plate system was developed in Aardman, and assistant animators will press out 12 or 14 different modelling clay plasticine mouth shapes, and then they sit on the plate, and then they're interchangeable, and they pop on, and then you just dress them to camera. The guys will just blend those in.
Incredible.
So the colour match is really important.
Right, that must be very difficult.
Yeah, because the light it gets absorbed into the different materials differently.
Oh, so they wear out over time in different ways.
The colour match under natural light will be different to what's on the studio floor.
Oh, shite.
So you've got to match it all on the floor.
Wow. I mean, I grew up on Will Vinton animation.
Yeah.
Where I think he started, where the whole figure was just plasticine and color mix. I didn't realize, and then, you know, I had friends that worked on Nightmare Before Christmas, which was all, of course, hard replacement animation, but I didn't realize how much innovation had been, how you guys had been doing to this technology.
And the idea is that this saves us a bit of time on the shooting floor, because if you don't have a plate system in there, the modeling clay will distort really quickly.
Right, because of the hot lights.
Because of the hot lights. Yeah.
And even, I mean, lights are less hot now than they used to be, because you're using kinoflows and fluorescents, right? And LEDs.
Yeah.
But still it gets warm.
Yeah.
This also, the plate system keeps the teeth in the correct position.
Yes, some will have sliders, but these teeth just sort of sit in behind the
And then they'll just move the lower teeth down, depending where the mouth needs to be.
So when you want to change the mouth shape, you'll just pull this whole thing off and go and change it and then pop it back in?
Yeah. And all our animators are sculptors as well, so they'll actually tweak these mouth shapes because it's this modeling clay.
Yeah.
You can get a tool in there and they'll sort of drag those expressions down to blend it into the next shape. Or if he's doing something a bit silly with his mouth, they'll sort of really tweak and sculpt through that sequence, through that animation.
That's incredible. And I also didn't realize that you were using a very classic armature system. We were recently in Peter Jackson's collection in Wellington, and he's got Willis O'Brien's original King Kong camera test armature.
Right.
And the thing I find most amazing about it is that it was made in the 20s, and we're still using the same technology today of a clamp around a ball with a certain amount of pressure.
Yeah. And you can see on here, so this
is... look at that!
So this is Trumpet from the Shaun the Sheep film. He's the main bad guy in the film. And we've done a cutaway, so you can see all the armature in here. And you've got standard joints in here, but a lot of it, we will in-house engineer joints, and we have special rotates, which are sort of for lift his arm up.
Right.
So rotates that are in here.
Right. And you put a plate here, and that's to register the leg.
That's to register, and it just helps us to stick the foam latex onto the leg and things
But then every time you're making foam latex parts, you have to cast a plug into them that matches the armature?
Yeah, so either we'll have a casting core that sits within the mould, or we'll actually have an armature that will sit in there.
And when you're using all these different materials, the foams, the silicones, the hard resins, and the plasticines, and you're color matching between them, I mean, I know running foam itself is like a violin making. It's really complicated.
Well, for some of these, we would pigment the foam. So when the paint runs out, or if it cracks, you can see
it doesn't show.
It doesn't show up because it's naturally cream. So if it's got a bit of colour underneath, it doesn't show up on camera, and it's not quite an issue.
Right. And I mean, I'm also assuming that you guys have technology like these hard resin bits under here. Is this perhaps a technology that was developed because you didn't have it for a shoot and you could see the chest collapsing when it moved?
This is trying to keep everything at lightweight and trying to space out, because if you were to make a solid block of modelling clay character, they're very heavy to rig.
Right.
So you develop these pieces, and these are just plastic PUs, and they get moulded separately. And then what will actually happen is they get bolted onto the armature. So we're sort of coring out that inside cavity. And then the foam latex sits on top. The animation team, the head guys, would develop the character in accordance with the director, and they would almost make a bible of the different moves and the mannerisms and the personality that puppet will have. And then when the rest of the animation team come in, they'll refer to that bible, so everything's kept and the continuity is kept the same.
And I see that the feet here have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate points that can be mounted down.
So so with this on you know, obviously you've got the bend in there, so we've got a tie down in the back, a tie down in the front, and these two little loops here are to actually keep the silicone on.
Oh.
When you're moving and you're putting your toe down or lifting your toe up, what will happen sometimes is the silicone will come away.
Sure.
And then, especially if they're walking towards camera, you can see the armature, and we don't want that.
No.
So we put these little hoops in, and that'll keep the silicone all in place.
I notice here that the sheep have actual fur.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
So it was actually easier to produce or the sheep with just traditional fur. So this is nothing. This fur's not that special. It's something you can buy from a fabric land.
But it doesn't flash too much.
No. So this is treated with like a water. It's a mix of PVA glue and a water-based solution.
Yeah.
It's sprayed on to the sheep. We then spend a little time teasing out
To make it.
look like it's a fluffy sheep. That'll then dry. And then gets taken onto the floor.
That term that I use, flashing, if you watch the original King Kong, you can see as Kong is climbing the Empire State Building, his fur is like, it's almost vibrating. And that is the hands of Willis O'Brien animating Kong on the fur. They didn't have a way to deal with that back then.
Yeah, so in the UK, that's classed as boiling.
Boiling. Oh, nice.
So where the fur and things jump about. And then what will happen is they'll go on sets, be shot, and then within a few weeks, we'll have to sort of replace the fur so that all gets stripped down, and a new, lovely, clean coat fur will then be put back on again, and the process starts again.
Even down to the props you guys have made. This messenger bag he's wearing is a magnificent little piece. And you must have a whole department of people.
So that's traditionally made by the art department.
Yeah.
And Gary's made a lot of the props that are on the table at the moment with the swords and things.
Yeah, so we've got Queen Victoria's samurai swords. They're just made from aluminium. And then this is just all hand sculpted.
Oh, look at that. And is the part that's carved away, is that so the hands
so they
can hold them?
Hold it and rig it to the hand.
Right. Oh, it's lovely.
The only ones I made on the table are these.
All right,
They weren't a nightmare. They were good fun. It spent a lot of time just to get the polish, to get it shiny.
And how many of these did you end up making?
I think there was only one pair actually.
Oh, wow.
I think this might be the only pair in existence. I could be wrong. I can't remember.
There's a few pairs.
I made so many props. It's hard to keep track.
Oh my God! You actually made rubber gloves.
Yeah, so these rubber gloves are made for Trumpet at the end, the bad guy, and this process in itself is like a 3-day process. We have a former, just a like a plastic former, and I'll spray the silicone over in layers and bake it in the oven, and then just keep building those layers up.
And then pull off an actual glove.
And then you can see there's different textures.
Yes.
So we mask that section off with masking tape, and then adjust the airbrush so it's stippling. Apply a stippled layer, take the masking tape off, and then apply the sort of the low light colouring on top of it.
Oh, it's funny. It's this. I'm sure you've done this. This is awesome. High five. High 15. High 15. It's making me nostalgic for being a model maker because I remember spending days at a time on making beer animate in the glass or something like that. It's just, I can't believe you actually made rubber gloves. So these fit over the armature.
You can see here on Trumpet at the end, it actually will just slide. These have been chopped up, but they actually would slide on and off his hands.
That's incredible. And then if you've weathered the gloves, then you're matching the weathering glove to glove to glove.
Yeah, so you'll have maybe 10 sets out and you'll try and paint them all at the same time. Because if you don't, something's on set and you've got to come back and it's...
Good luck.
Yeah.
We've got some hair here.
So this is hair from a Victorian lady. And it's almost like a skull cap that would fit on, but you can see...
Oh, that each of the tendrils
wires
of hair has twisted wires in it.
The animation.
And I know this, you guys must have specific formulas for what kind of twisted wire you're using depending upon the animation needs,
That's
right?
correct, yeah. So normally what would happen is with finger wire, you'd have alley and steel wire. But what will happen is those finger wires will break.
Over time.
Just
because you're doing this and they work hard
and then you'd have to slice into the fingers, pull the wire out, put the new wire back in, close that up and glue it. And what we're actually doing at the moment is putting just steel all the way through them.
Interesting, and it wears out less.
And it wears out less, yeah.
And I see a dodo bird.
Yeah.
I did not realize you guys had animated a dodo bird.
So the dodo is part of the captain's entourage, should we say?
And is this a replacement beak or is it armature?
I don't think it will come off. I'm sure it may be glued. Oh no, there we go. So we made several different mouth shapes, and you can see there's a little tiny bit of wire in there. The wire runs around, so you can get that slight bit of movement.
Yeah.
And then we would have another mouth which would be open, and that would not be pop on.
Look at that.
Put his mouth back on, and his you can't move them in a minute, but you would have pins. And the eyes would move into in the sockets.
So he can look around.
Yeah.
Do you have multiple different eye technologies for different kinds of characters, or is it relatively
It's relatively
similar?
the same because we try putting magnets in and some other things. Normally, what happens is the bottom half of the eyelids is hard,
Right.
and then the top is plasticine.
So that you can sculpt
So
the
yeah,
eye
you can
joints.
sculpt and actually will hold those eyeballs in there.
Right.
And sometimes there's what we have like what we call tacky wax that sits on the back of the eyeball just to keep it into position. When we're animating these puppets, things break,
Sure.
and
But
then
they-
so we make replacements. You'll have replacement feathers, replacement wings. So when we consider making a puppet, we have to consider about how we're going to replace
repair it.
everything.
Right. And
So-
sometimes replacing it while it's hot on set.
Exactly.
Now, when we've got a pirate like this, may I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's got an arm like this makes your armature job a little bit easier, doesn't it?
So I think Gary made.
No, I didn't work on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
So yeah, he scuttles along the floor. He
Oh,
sort of
yeah, right. He's
pushes along the floor,
It's gonna be all day.
and you can see just the tie down in there.
Yeah.
When it moved. And
I think he had different attachments as well, so you can
Yeah.
swap this out for a lighter or a tin opener, whatever he needed to.
And this specifically looks like a pair of legs made for sitting, or is he?
No,
does
I
this
think-
also go
yeah,
all the way
I
into?
think-
Oh wow! Look at that. He's totally. Oh wow! He pivots on this ball here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I got to tell you, right up close, the details of the hammered belt buckle and the little buckles on the side of his prosthetic leg, it's like it's all there. The weathering is just like as close as you can get. It's totally present. That's amazing. Is there a piece here that kicked your butt more than any other?
I mean, I personally made a lot on this character here.
Yeah.
So this is from Shaun the Sheep, and he's in a different type of clothing. And I learned personally a lot of new techniques with painting, sort of coming out my comfort zone quite a lot.
Right.
So for me, that was quite a challenge, but I got some good results with that. I was very pleased.
And so this, like, so you're getting the paint into and you're painting silicone, which itself is not
Yeah.
easy. It doesn't
Yeah.
like to take paint.
No, so traditionally we would paint with rubber inks and things like that.
Like cut with naphtha and things like that.
Yeah, so we would, with rubber inks you can actually sort of thin it with their solvents. But if you're doing this, is all done with Psycho paint, and you thin it with toluene. And what's really great,
Tell you, it's lovely.
yeah, great stuff. And what's really great about some of the sculpts from Aardman is they're really heavily textured.
Yeah.
So you would cast it in the base color, and then you would put a wash over the top of it. And because it's really heavily textured, that paint sits into there, and you wipe it off,
And it gives you all
and
this
it's really a pleasant thing to paint.
Guys, I'm so gobsmacked by seeing these in here. I'm gonna take a picture of me with the Dodo Bird so I can hang it on my wall because
Yes.
it's so beautiful. This is such magnificent work. I feel so lucky we got to see it in the cave.
So we've got something else for you, Adam.
So,
We brought a little surprise over from the UK, and we'd like to share that with you.
better than this?
Well,
Well, in here we have a tiny version of yourself.
You kidding me? Oh my god. I'm a little verklempt. Guys, that is the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. Oh my god, it's a little Adam Savage made by Aardman. Holy cow! This is Adam Savage. I'm gonna sign off right now. I'm too excited to speak. Now we get hugs. now we give hugs. Thanks, guys. I really that's you've made my month. Thank you.
no problem.